Hello everyone. In the second part of this video, we are going to focus on 4.3 CVP analysis, 4.4 margin of safety, and 4.5 sensitivity analysis. We are still focusing on the theory part of the chapter. There are three methods to do the CVP analysis. One is the mathematical equation method, 2, the contribution margin method, and 3 is the graph method. By using the mathematical equation method, net profit is equals to total sales minus total cost. Therefore, BEP in unit or X is equals to A divided by P minus B. The detailed explanation will be done in the tutorial video. By using the contribution margin method, we are still using the same formula, that is, net profit is equals to total sales minus total cost. Therefore, BEP in unit or X is equals to A divided by contribution margin per unit. The details explanation will also be done in the tutorial video. By using the graph method, BEP is the intersection between the total revenue graph and the total cost graph. The intersection divides the graph into two areas. The lower part of the graph is the loss area, whereby the upper part of the graph is the profit area. And now for the Q&A section. Question 1. Explain three importance of cost volume profit analysis. 1. To determine their contribution margin, which is the amount remaining from sales revenue after all variable costs have been deducted. The amount that remains is used to cover fixed costs, and whatever remains afterward is considered profit. 2. To know the break-even point where the company should not produce below the break-even point of quantity. And 3. To determine units to be produced for the targeted profit. Question 2. State three assumptions in cost volume profit analysis. Costs can be segregated into fixed and variable portion. 2. The sales price per unit remain constant. And 3. Fixed costs do not change or remain constant. Margin of safety. Margin of safety or safety margin is the difference between actual or expected sales and sales at the break-even point. Margin safety tells us how far sales could fall before the company begins operating at a loss. It indicates the possible decrease in sales that may occur before loss. The higher of margin of safety, the better it is because it lowers the risk of not breaking even and incurring a loss. Margin of safety can be stated in unit, ringgit Malaysia, or in ratio. These are the formulas to calculate the margin of safety. Margin of safety in unit is equals to the actual or expected unit sales minus unit sales at BEP. Margin of safety in Ringgit Malaysia equals to total actual or expected sales minus total sales at BEP. Then, the margin of safety in unit we will multiply with the price per unit. Margin of safety in percentage or ratio is equals to margin of safety in unit or RM divided by the actual or expected sales in unit or RM as well, multiply by 100. In this graph illustration, the margin of safety in Ringgit Malaysia is shown on the y-axis, and the margin of safety in units is shown on the x-axis. And the final part for this video is 4.5 sensitivity analysis. Sensitivity analysis is a what-if technique that managers use to examine how an outcome will change if all elements in CVP analysis change from the original data by predictions and assumptions. Examples of outcomes that normally tested are units sold to achieve BEP or units sold to achieve certain target profit. The detailed explanation will be explained in the tutorial video. And now for the Q&A section. Question 1. Explain what is margin of safety. Margin of safety is the difference between break-even point with the estimation sales or the current sales. It can be measured by quantity of product or by sales revenue. It also explains the amount sales can decrease before the company incurs an operating loss. Question 2. Explain what is contribution margin. Contribution margin is the difference between net sales revenue and variable cost. It is the amount that contributes to covering fixed costs and then